What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic weekend. We are here on a beautiful Sunday night. Finally had ourselves a nice day, at least here in PA. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend or having yourselves a great night. But here tonight, I know you've all been waiting for this one. And look, we break this down every year. We already talked about this a couple of months ago, but I told you I'd be back with this bad boy once we saw the free agent signings, the draft picks, and I was trying to give Howie a little time. He'll probably do it tomorrow, I would assume, sign Justin Simmons or something. But I wanted to, make sure we're filling out places, and we've got a good look at what this defense is going to look like. We've broken down over and over throughout the years what this defense entails, and variations is what we have seen of this defense with Jonathan Gannon, with Sean Desai. And well, now the Philadelphia Eagles have the Godfather himself, Vic Fangio. So, oh boy, we're going to talk about this defense here and what you can expect. And, each year you hear, oh, the Eagles are changing defense. We are not. We are running the multiple fronts, the multiple scheme defense where, you got to be able to do a lot of things. Very versatile are most of the players. And that's, the reason why we look for certain guys in free agency, in the draft. The reason I was able to get 7 out of the 9 draft picks we have is because you got to know what you're looking for here. And the Eagles, well, they're looking for a certain fit here to this defense. And, oh, boy, I cannot tell you enough. I thought you had a lot of great pieces last year, a lot of injuries, a lot of just confusion. Then you fire the one guy or you demoted him, whatever. I just didn't think that was the move. But, look, man, regardless of how you feel about it, we're here to talk about this year. Right now, Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. So let's go. And it's live tonight. So any questions, any comments, anything that is on your mind, I'm going to run through this in case anybody's watching this. Try to get some, information here, but I'll get to all your questions, everything. But look, a lot of great information here, and I have learned a lot throughout the years here, and I like to think I have a basic understanding of a lot of things, but if you want to get to real sicko levels and you want to get to know this defense, there are 3 people I can recommend to you that have helped me learn a lot, and more than I could put in one show here. These guys have got a lot of information here, and these are their Twitter accounts here at the Honest NFL, at the Coach A, and at Coach Voss. But these guys all have a great understanding of Vic Fangio's defense and provide so much information on this. And, part of this show is obviously to get you guys on board, try to simplify it the best I can, show you the cover schemes, what we'd like to try to do in this defense, and, give you a better understanding of what the hell is going on here. So, look, the basic principles. You'll hear bend, don't break, but really, it's bigger than that. We talk about the vanilla theory. That's one of the things they say out there. And I think, it's a great way to put it. You're seeing the same thing over and over again, but there's so many different things going on within these plays. And you're going to see different structures in different weeks and, whatever the best matchup is. So that's what I love about this defense. But big shout out to those guys. Go check them out. A lot of great info there. But we're going to take a look at the cover schemes, and then I know what you're here for. And that's to take a look at these different structures. So I have 17 different looks here I'm going to show you. And I want to, give you a look at it. People are going to tell you, oh, it's a 3-4 here. It's way more complicated than that. And, well, I want to give you a look at what I see and where I see people fitting in, why we talked about a lot of these guys pre-draft or pre-free agency. And let's rock and roll here, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing, sharing this stuff. Get the good word out there, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you, though. And a lot of excitement to be had about this team. And don't worry, you'll get to take a look here in a second, but we'll get to know what's going on here real quick. First, yo, my man, appreciate you tuning in. And yes, again, if you guys enjoy this, you can always hit that like button. And hey, man, look, no doubt. And glad you are able to tune in, my friend. And hope you're doing well. Appreciate all of you guys. Let's rock and roll here and let's talk some defense. And I just really can't believe we still have Vic Fangio. You get a guy that's going to come in here and make sure that these players are disciplined, get people on the same page. He is a great leader. He's a teacher. That's what we need here. And the ideas are great from these other coordinators, but if you don't have disciplined play, that is key, man. And we could talk about how important the nickel corner is, or the safeties, or the linebackers are in this Vic Fangio defense. But just the fact that you have Vic Fangio rather than all of these, wannabes, it's I think going to be fantastic. We need a leader on this defense in the coaching form, and I think that's this guy right here. And oh boy, we've already got some great young pieces in place. And unfortunate that we lost in the middle, Fletcher Cox. Obviously, on the offense, we know who we lost on the middle. So 2 guys retiring, but you got replacements, just like Cam Jurgens on offense. Dude, you have Jordan Davis, you have Jalen Carter, you have Milton Williams, and a lot of other pieces we'll look at here. But this defense, oh boy, we have, dude, free agency, the draft, we have added so many pieces that you're going to see here shortly. I'm ready to run through an effing wall. So let's talk about it. Now, there are so many different things going on in the world with defenses, and, there's so much different terminology out there, but I try to stick with what those guys that just showed you, what I've learned from them. And this is what you are seeing in the Vic Fangio defense. And, so cover 0, cover 1, 2, 3, 4, all of these are a little different, within whoever's running them, right? So you could be playing Madden and it's not going to be the same thing as this. So look, again, try to simplify it here with just some basic schemes. It didn't add anything like the fire zones or anything like that, which is really just a 3 deep, 3 under. And there's a lot of things, again, that go into, this is just the base, the scheme, what you're going into. And you'll see a lot of cover 3 here. That's the 3 deep, 4 under, middle closed zone coverage with a strong rotation. And, you talk about the rotations and the keys within this defense. The safeties have so much on their plate, but so does everyone else. You have to know what the next guy's doing, what your role is, and then your secondary role. What if this happens, then I've got to do this. So look, man, you're going to see, a bunch of different ones, but as I mentioned, that cover 3, you'll see a lot of, but that's kind of just like the flip of the cover 9. And that is like kind of the bread and butter there, the one you see at the bottom. The middle close, that's a lot of what you're going to see from Vic Fangio. Middle of the field close, you're going to see most of the time over open. You're going to see zone and man. I know a lot of people say it's zone and it's match zone. There's a lot of man coverage principles within this defense. And most of the time you're only rushing 4. Sometimes you'll have the 5-man rushers, but we'll look at the structures and I'll explain, some of these guys, they'll drop into coverage at times. Yeah, like there's certain things, but I think, within these, coverages, it's the rotations, the keys. Those are what is important for these guys. But you can see, cover 6 is going to be another one. And most of the time it's that split safety. So you've got 2 safeties high and look, you're breaking the field in half and you're seeing that quarters, half, or like we just talked about, the flip side of that, the halves, quarters. It's ways to stop teams that are able to beat the zone and the man. You're supposed to be able to, shut down anybody. And one of the things within this is you got to make sure your front guys are, first off, being played correctly and doing what they need to do. There was a lot of struggles. I think Clint Hurt, the new defensive line coach, is really going to help out here. So we just really needed a change in scenery, man, because I think, we have all the talent here. So for me, you're going to see a lot within this, and you needed different linebacker play, the secondary, just things, injuries, certain things happening, players getting older. So I think we definitely change those things, and you're going to see a lot of great things from this defense. And, again, I'm trying to simplify this and keep it quick. We've talked about this so many times. The purpose of this show is really to give you a new look at it with all the new players. But you have any questions on that stuff, you want to know anything, I'm happy to either help you if I can or send you in the right direction. Again, go check out those guys. And man, a lot of great information out there on this defense and what this Eagles team is going to be able to do. And we'll continue talking about it as we take a look at this D, but I know you want to see those damn pictures. So we're going to take a look here in a second, but a little bit of them Cheetos. I could use some of those. Hello to you. Hope you're doing well. And Fangio. Okay. And he does not. Yo, Jim, appreciate you tuning in, my friend. Hope you are doing well. And got there. Yo, those hot ones. My kid gets those sometimes. They're no joke. Little G, appreciate you tuning in. And I knew that was coming. Congratulations to you, my friend. Let's effing go Birds, my man. Hope you and the family are doing well. And congrats to you and your brother, sister, whoever it may be, on becoming an uncle there, my man. I got to say this. Hey, look, and come check it out whenever you guys have any comments, questions, anything like that. Let's get it on. But I want to show you, in case you missed it, we'll take a quick look here at this defense. I'm going to show you the depth chart. I don't have all those individual graphics. I don't want to make this video super long because you've already seen this video. We've talked about this, what this team entails, and I've already shown you what the defense looks like. But if you've missed it, here's the depth chart that I've put together, and I've got 12 starters here just because I want to show you the 5-man fronts. I want to show you the nickel cornerback position. And look, I've got a key down there so you can see the rookies are the Kelly green with the white outline. You've got the new additions that are free agents or trade pieces in green there. And then the undrafted free agents, they are in gray. So you can see all the pieces we have added, and we're going to jump into this. Now, as I've been telling you the last few weeks, the reason I have that edge and linebacker where they meet right there, their depth pieces don't have a line in between them because I want you guys to know that those are versatile pieces. So Bond, Brandon Smith, Terrell Lewis, they can play off ball and edge. Nolan Smith can dabble off ball. Patrick Johnson can as well. Jalen Hunt, maybe they'll give him a little dabble out there. We talked about his experience as a former safety. So, yeah, all about it. But those versatile pieces, we're going to take a look at them and what they could do here. And then you're looking, at that cornerback safety position. These guys are a lot of versatile pieces. And I did have that open before. I had a defensive back position when we were talking about DeJean, all that great stuff. But you can see I put Rodgers and DeJean there at nickel. May the best man win. But very excited. They're all going to be used. And man, we'll see who gets these depth, battles won here. But I cannot wait to break down all these. But look at that nickel cornerback position. You've got 8 guys that can play right there. And it's going to be some heated competition because you got some good players there, some young players there. And then safety, if you can help out there, that's a big plus for you. We're hopeful Sidney Brown can get healthy, but, we talk about the line, the edge. Look at all of this talent. I mean, you see just in green there, Huff, White, Rodgers, CJ Gardner, all possible starters there. And then DeJean and Mitchell in the draft, possible starters, Hunt and Trotter. They will develop hopefully into something great. So I'm very excited about this all season so far, what we've added. And when we talked about this video, the last time looking at these structures, it was like, well, we've got no linebackers. The corner's kind of with Bradbury there, but Rodgers is coming back. Safety, I don't know. We saw Byard at that time. That's how long ago we talked about this. So we got a lot to change about. Obviously, we're a lot changing here with Reddick and everybody, that has moved on or we've moved on from, whatever it may be. But, dude, let's strap in. I've got 17 of these bad boys for you, and I want to talk about them. So, well, let's talk about it. So, yeah, first and foremost, let's talk about the one you're going to see the most because, well, it's a passing league. So you're going to see a lot of nickel coverage, right? So let's start it off here with that 4-2 nickel coverage. And one of the things with this defense that gets people gripped up, talking about 3-4s, 4-3s, and I get that you want to give it, a title, but dude, it's ever changing. And right here, you call it a 4-2 because you got 4 down linemen, you've got 2 linebackers, and then you've got 5 defensive backs. And I try to color code them. So your secondary pieces have the green background, the gray background for the linebackers, and then the white background for your D linemen. But I try to, change from the corners and the safeties. They have different rings around them. And then the edge and the interior guys have different rings around them. So keep that in mind as we go throughout these pictures. But you can see here the nickel you're going to see predominantly. And I don't know about you, but that gets me pretty effing excited. And as I mentioned with the depth chart there, maybe Cooper DeJean wins that battle. Hey, maybe they want to try Cooper DeJean out at safety. He wins out over Reed Blankenship. I know people feel that way. A lot going on there. I understand that. But this is just your 4-2 the nickel where I have Rodgers in at the nickel spot. But, dude, may the best man win. We'll see if Rodgers locks up outside and, they let Mitchell learn for a little bit first. And then somebody else to start in the middle, Maddox or DeJean. So many things could happen here. But one of the things, we talk about, 4-2, it could be called 2-4, really, because, you consider Huff and Sweat outside linebackers at times. And it really just, whether they're standing up, putting their hands in the dirt. So you can change these things, obviously right there. And then, obviously Huff, Sweat, they could be standing up, doing certain things. So you could change this. and then it could be called a 2-4. So just keep that in mind when you're seeing all of this stuff. But, let's just go back to 4-2, but let's add a little something here called the big nickel. And we talked about this a lot last year and, what Sidney Brown could bring to the table playing that third safety spot. So the difference here between, nickel and big nickel is that nickel is just a third safety rather than a third cornerback. So you can see here, DeJean, I've got locked in, maybe Sidney Brown. Maybe you have DeJean up there and, well, you know what? Let's take a look at it. I'll flip them around. Let's put DeJean at safety with CJ Gardner-Johnson and then Sidney Brown down there as your big nickel. I think that gets me pretty pumped up there with Quinyon Mitchell, Slay at corners, and you can see the front still. And whether you want to take out Davis and rotate with Milton Williams and, guys like a Jomo and Hall and Tuipulotu will be battling. So a lot of depth there. You see the linebackers there, Dean and White, and you will see, this obviously with two linebackers a lot of the time, but you'll also see, with just one, and we'll keep going through all of these, but just wanted to show you, with versatile pieces, and hell, you could have CJ Gardner-Johnson down there, but I couldn't justify moving him out of safety just because the lack of depth there, and I like him as that guy, but just remember, he could come down, he could be that big nickel. You could have Sidney Brown as safety with DeJean. You could have Blankenship and DeJean. So many different things you could see here. And obviously you can rotate any of those linemen, or if you want to rotate the linebackers or whatever your heart desires. But, you hear a lot of, it's going to be the 3-4, right? That's what everybody says. We're switching to the 3-4. And, that's because you've got 3 down linemen and then 4 linebackers. But just like we talked about a little bit ago, really, those guys, they're doing a lot. And for me, it's more, of that tight coverage. We talk about the 5-2 where, really those are 5 down linemen. And, you've got Huff Sweat outside of Carter, Davis, and Williams. Holy and then you've got Dean and White as your linebackers with Gardner, Johnson, and Blankenship I have as safety. But again, whoever wants to win, try not to get too caught up. You see all the depth pieces. I added more just so nobody is missing out here. But you can see the corners. I've got Slay and Mitchell locked in there. Very excited about that. But I had mentioned, you can take away that linebacker. So if you want to get into that penny front, baby, and you know how much I like this one, where you just take out one of those linebackers and you add a nickel corner. So now you're back to 5 defensive backs. You got 1 linebacker, and you've got those 5 down linemen. And again, remember that you maybe will hear it called a 3-3 because people are considering Huff and Sweat, they're standing up. So now we'll call it the 3-3 because you've got 3 linebackers, but really they're edge defenders and they've got way different responsibilities. And it's not just as simple as giving them the linebacker title. I like to call them edge because they can do so many different things. And I know people get upset about dropping in the coverage, but honestly, it's only a couple times a game. And we talk about that confusion, showing the same thing over and over again, and then, doing different things within it. So I think it works and I like it a lot. And, speaking of adding extra defensive backs, let's add another one. Let's take away one of those linemen and we'll call her the old 4-1 dime. Now, I've added Cooper DeJean here as that dime back, and you've got Isaiah Rodgers there. So now you've got 6 defensive backs out there. You got 4 down linemen. You want to put Jordan Davis there instead of Milton Williams, that's fine. Just wanted to move some things around, show you some stuff. But maybe Devin White is the single linebacker, and Nakobe Dean is not that middle linebacker guy that we're dependent on. Maybe White gets back to all-pro form. I'm not sure. But whoever the starters are, you can see, holy I like that. I like that a lot. And the same thing here with the 4-1, you could call it 2-3 if you want to. You consider those guys linebackers. You can see their backgrounds change, but the rings, I'm still considering them the edge guys. So whatever you want to call it, whatever they listed at the end of the day, that's what it looks like. That's what they're doing. And man, 6 extra defensive backs, all about it. But let's get back to that 4-1, but let's call her the old big dime. Now let's take out Rodgers and let's put Cooper DeJean as the nickel corner, and then we're going to bring in that big dime back, and that is Sidney Brown. So now we're back to 3 safeties, 3 corners here, and I do like this one. You've got the 4 down men, and then you've got the 1 linebacker there, and these are not lined up like where I just try to fit them in so you can see what the structure of it is. But, looking at this, dude, holy shit, yeah, I would be very excited. We've talked about the multiple safety, sets. This is why you get guys like DeJean, Sidney Brown, and obviously 2 years in a row, I loved both of them and thought they could fit what we're trying to do here, especially without CJ Gardner-Johnson. But now we have them. So let's effing go. I'm ready to run through a wall. But since we're talking the monies, let's go down to good old $3-2. Now, with the 3-2, you see 3 down linemen, and whether you want them to be the edge guys or more defensive lineman type guys, the interior guys, it's up to you. But you've got 2 linebackers back here, and then you've got 6 defensive backs again. So 4 corners, 2 safeties, and when you've got versatile pieces like this, you could consider somebody a third safety, a third corner, a fourth corner, whatever the hell you want. Cooper DeJean can be everything you want, and then some. Same with Sidney Brown, Gardner-Johnson. Now, Sidney Brown can't do all that DeJean does, like as a cornerback, but as a big dime, big nickel, safety, whatever it needs to be, these guys are versatile, and I'm all about it. Now, another 3-2 that I've learned about here is called Magic, and instead of one of those defensive backs, we're adding Bryce Huff as what they call an X-backer. This is a free roamer. He is just standing behind the line, whether he's with the linebackers. He's free roaming, doing what he wants, and I really like that one. And whether they play with this, add a couple edge rushers on the line. Maybe you put Jordan Davis there to be a 2-gap stopper and then allow Huff to do some things around him. Whatever the hell they're going to do, just understand there's a lot of versatility in this defense and a lot of different things you could do. And you could see the depth pieces, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, man. These guys are going to be part of the rotation. Zach Bond, we talk about, could play off ball and play edge. So, dude, rotation's the name of the game, and we're going to need some of that. And, well, we're going to need rotation in the secondary, apparently, because we've got 3,422 guys back there. So I finally ran out in this position. I tried to put 2 depth pieces per, but I couldn't do that at the end because we only had 19, I believe it was, guys in the secondary. So, yeah, just not enough. But we call this the copper here. You've got 3 down linemen, 1 linebacker here, and you can see you've got 7 in the secondary, 4 cornerbacks with 3 safeties. So this is another one that I'm not sure, you're not going to see these ones that we're showing at the end here as much, but these are just some fun things that you can throw out there. And again, it doesn't have to be edge guys necessarily. You can make it a Milton Williams, who's, a pass rushing D tackle. You can do a lot of different things within this, but just trying to give you an idea of the different looks. And you can see DeJean back there as that third safety all over the place. I had him today at corner safety. That's where we're going to see him on the field on Sundays, or Fridays in Brazil, or Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thanksgiving Day, whatever the hell they've got us doing. But up next, let's take a look at the jumbo package. We've been talking about a lot of secondary pieces. Let's cut some of those out, and let's take a gander at an old 4-4 here. And honestly, this could be a 6-2. I'm not making a graphic for that because I've already doubled up on 6,000 of these. And so at this point, I think you understand it. Could be considered that 6-2. Call it 4-4. Call it whatever the hell you want. Just understand there's 3 people in the secondary there. You're loading up. So this is, obviously run stopping. This is the big boys. And well, best of luck to you. And you can have the linebackers blitzing, doing all kinds of things. But I'm excited to see what they put together with this. And, don't sleep on those depth pieces on the line either. Very excited to see what those guys can do. And we're going to finish it up looking at, the traditional one. People talk about, why aren't we 4-3 anymore? Well, I put this together for you just so you can see what it would look like as a 4-3 traditional. But, really when you're looking at a 4-3, what the Eagles are really trying to do, and that's take those 2 linebackers and turn them into edge guys. So really, we're looking for a 6-1, and that's what we're finishing her off here tonight. 6-1-9. All right, Rey Mysterio, let's calm down. Now, this one they call the 40, and I think it's called like the tilt by the Patriots, I believe they call it. 6-1. I think it was called 4-3 Pro by Tom Landry, I want to say. But regardless, you can see this bad boy. Holy shit. So I put Moro Ajomo in here this time and just moving pieces around. Understand that anybody could be going in these spots. I'm just trying to fill it out. But I also put Cooper DeJean back there at safety with Gardner-Johnson. So just giving you an idea, man, of what this defense can look like with all these different pieces. So there was 17 different structures for you to take a little gander at. Then you saw the 10 schemes that I showed you, but I promise you, if you go check out those people I just mentioned there, their YouTubes, their Twitters, stuff like that, you're going to be blown away by the information that they will provide for you, whether it's everything that you want to know with the keys. You know, we talk about route distribution, like things that you're doing within these schemes and structures. There is so much to it. And I wish I had technology to really break down some of this stuff and show you certain things, but that's what those guys have. And that's why I'm trying to point you in that direction. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys got to see some of that new stuff, because I know you've been waiting for it with those new pieces we've added. I've been waiting to put it together. Very excited. And I've been putting together also the training camp battles. And of course, I got to do like the height, the weight, the age, experience at a college for every effing player on the damn team. So we've got 88 players, and got to find 88 pictures and 88 pieces of information for each of them. You know what I mean? So, I'll put that together. We've got a couple weeks here. We're going to break down everything before OTAs begin, all that stuff, but all about it, my friend. And Liz, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you are doing well, my man. Luffy, go Birds. But that was Vic Fangio's defense schemes and structures. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions, any comments on this stuff, love to hear from you. I know a lot of you guys watch this one, and whether you're an Eagles fan or whatever it is, always happy to talk shop with you guys. And, you know, obviously, diehard Birds fan, a true sicko, but always happy to talk football, man. And I know a lot of people like learning about this stuff, and it has been truly fun. Again, and I'm going to put this up here one more time. Let me find that. So go check these guys out. I'm telling you, so much great information. If you really like being a sicko, you really want to know the ins and outs of everything and have your mind like literally hurting by the end of it, that's what that's going to do to you. I love taking so much information that I, possibly can from these guys, learning as much as I can, because holy Lord, very complex. And that's why we talk about certain type of players that fit what we're trying to do here. And I think the Eagles have done a pretty damn good job of that. Getting guys like Cooper DeJean, we talk about a Swiss Army knife. You saw them throughout those structures moving around, whether he was a depth piece, a starter, at safety or corner, whatever it is. Just understand this dude, we wanted him because they talked about it as if it was a knock that he was a versatile piece. And it's like, I look at that as a pretty huge plus and perfect fit for Vic Fangio. And honestly, I think he'd be awesome as one of the safeties. We talk about having that versatile, like, nickel corner, like corner / safety kind of guy, where, you just have that skill set where you can do all the above, and a smart kid. And that's what he is. But I really think he could compete for nickel corner. And if it weren't for Quinyon Mitchell, he'd be competing for outside corner. But I think Slay's got that locked. I think DeJean and Mitchell could be the future. We'll see how Ringo and Ricks want to do this year, or whoever wants to step up. But you've got a lot of young talent here. You've got a lot of hope. These veterans hopefully will do all they can to help them out. But now you've got a great teacher in Vic Fangio, somebody who's going to come in here, again, be a great teacher, great leader, discipline these guys. And, they're not children, and he's going to treat them like human beings, but he's going to get the damn job done. And that's winning this damn Super Bowl. So we know what this offense is going to do. Now you're about to learn and see what this defense is going to do, and that's dominate. I think top 3 this year. I'm hanging my hat on it because we've already talked about the pieces you saw tonight. I really think they're going to be dominant, back to getting turnovers, shutting down the pass. And one of the things you have to be able to do is, we talked about, not only does the front have to do, everybody has to do their, job, but you got to tackle, damn it. And I really think just if everybody sticks with their responsibilities and, they're getting the right keys and they're doing everything they need to, tackling, I think this defense is going to be dominant. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this defense. What are you most excited for? Who do you think is going to be the defensive player of the year for the Eagles this year? What do you think the Eagles record is? Whatever's on your mind, I'd love to hear from you. But that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic weekend. Again, you need anything. You want to talk about the Birds, you want to talk about life, I'm always here for you. I say it because I mean it. You guys are truly awesome. Always here for me, so I always try to return that favor. But have yourselves a great rest of your Sunday. And Let me hear it, man. I want to talk about this defense. I'm very pumped up. We'll break down the offense at some point this offseason. I'll be throwing out as much content as I possibly can your way, but very excited. I would love to hear your excitement, or maybe you're disgruntled and you would like to express that. I know people are very happy to do that, but whatever it may be, I'd love to hear it. We got a couple comments. Let me jump over here. A lot of flexible to work. I can't wait to see. Yeah, man, multiple schemes, bro. That is the name of the game here, and that is what we just broke down. So go check out the beginning if you missed it. And, yo, I appreciate that, my man. Romes, I hope you're having a great weekend, and hope you guys enjoy this. I try to simplify it, and I watched the last video, and I was like, geez, like I talk about the Eagles so much at the beginning of it, like their roster by position. It's like you guys have already talked about that stuff. So try to simplify this, keep it at around half hour. We're a minute over, but I want you guys to be able to get this info, but I also want to be able to chop it up with you. So you got anything on your mind, feel free to leave it down below. I really appreciate the kind words. This one took a little bit of time to put together, so I do apologize. I, of course, had to remake every graphic because why wouldn't I add a second depth chart position? And a true sicko, I wanted you guys to see all that depth. I wanted the guys like Andre Sam, Mario Goodrich, Gabe Hall to be in there, and, well, you saw their ass, and even PJ Mustafa. So let's go. But I appreciate you, dude, and let me hear your thoughts, guys. But I got to get rolling here. Appreciate you, David, for all of you who did. I appreciate that. Like, the subscriptions, sharing this stuff. It all truly helps. And I cannot thank you enough for the support. Can't do this by myself. And it sure is, man. I think this defense as a whole is going to be very special. I think people are sleeping on the linebacker room. They're definitely sleeping on our interior D-line. I've talked about it. They'll find out who Milton Williams is soon enough. They'll stop talking trash on Jordan Davis soon enough. And Jalen Carter is going to demand all of them praise the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, because I'm telling you, they are about to dominate. Let them keep sleeping. Let them keep hating. I'll continue educating, but I hope you continue having a great weekend. Have a great rest of your night. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have a great one. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!